can be divided into four types. Clear? First one is called as epithelial tissues. Clear, ma? Second one is called as connective tissues. Clear, ma? Third one is called as muscular tissues, and the fourth one is called as neural tissues. Are you able to understand? So these are the four types of tissues which are present in living organisms. Clear? Epithelial tissues means what? The tissues which behaves like outer covering to the organisms or inner layer through which body fluid flows. That is called as epithelial tissues. Are you able to understand, ma? So outer layers of the bodies or organs are they were having a covering, no, ma? So outer covering of the organs is made up of epithelial tissues. Or for example, if you take veins and arteries, they have an inner single layer. So through that single layer only all the body fluids they will flow, no, ma? So blood will flow. So blood will flow in arteries and veins, no? So that inner layer of arteries and veins, that is made up of a single layer of tissues which is called as epithelial tissues. Are you able to understand, ma? Then connective tissues. What is meant by connective tissues? The tissues which connect one organ to another organ or one tissue system to another tissue system. This kind of tissue systems we can call them as connective tissue systems. For example, if you take two bones, so at the knee there is a combination of two bones, no, two joints are joined together. No? So these two bones they are connected by one tissue which is called as connective tissue, and it is called as a ligament. What you call that one? You call it as ligament and tendons. So all them they can come under connective tissues. Then we have muscular tissues. What is meant by muscular tissues? The tissues of which muscles are made up of, they are called as muscular tissues. And neural tissues, the tissues, the cells from which neurons they are made up of, that is the neural system is there no inside the human body. So the total neural system is made up of neural tissues. So basically all these tissues we are divided them into four types. One is epithelial, second one is connective, third one is called as muscular, and the fourth one is called as neural tissue. Clear, ma? So first one we will study about epithelial tissue, which is also called as epithelium also. We can call it as epithelium also. So what is meant by epithelial tissues, ma? It has a free surface that faces body fluid or outside environment. Are you able to understand, ma? So it is a free surface means what? On that surface there is no other surface. Okay? It is an open surface through which body fluid will flow. Body fluid means what? Water, blood, all this called as a body fluid, no, ma? So this body fluid flows through this free surface, and that layer of cells we can call them as epithelial tissues. Clear? So, and in another region where you can find this epithelial tissues, it is found in the covering of the body parts also. So it covers or lines the body parts also. There also you will find the epithelial tissues. For example, skin is an outer covering, no, ma? Skin is what? Skin is a covering only, no? So total skin will be made up of what kind of cells? Epithelial cells. Are you able to understand? Similarly, all the cells which are present in the inside layers of what you call veins, arteries, they are also made up of epithelial cells. Clear, no? So cells are compactly packed with little intercellular matrix. What is meant by intercellular matrix, ma? Already we have studied previously one time. Intercellular matrix means what? This is the substance which is present in between two cells. Are you able to understand, ma? The material which is present between two cells is called as intercellular matrix, and most of the time it will be dead matter itself. Are you able to understand? That matter which is present between the cells, which is called as intercellular matrix. So these epithelial cells, they are compactly packed, and in between the cells you will find the intercellular matrix. Clear? Next, these epithelial tissues, we can again divide them into two types now. One is simple, and the second one is called complex. Simple means what? It is made up of only one layer of cells. Complex means what? It is made up of many layer of cells. Are you able to understand? For example, skin. It is not made up of single layer, no, it is made up of many layers of cells. Are you able to understand? But the cells which you find in the inner layers of arteries and veins, they are made up of a single layer. Are you able to understand? So epithelial tissues, they can be single layered also, they can be multi-layered also. So they can, you can call them as simple or you can call them as compound. Single layer or you can call them as multi-layered. Are you able to understand, ma? So then again this simple epithelium. Epithelium we have divided into two types now. One is simple, another one is compound. Simple epithelium again I can divide into three types. What are they? One is squamous epithelium, second one is called as cuboidal epithelium, and the third one is called as columnar epithelium. Based on the size, shape and arrangement, simple epithelium, that is single layered cells. Again we can divide them into three types. Squamous, second one is cuboidal, and the next one is called as columnar. Okay. So simple epithelium made up of single layer of cells. Already we have studied, it lines the body cavities, ducts and tubes. Ducts means what? Ducts means, so in human body we have two types of glands, Rama. Glands which are having ducts and glands which are not having ducts. Ducts means what? Some pipes through which hormones will be released into the body, that is called as duct. So glands are there with ducts, glands are there without ducts also. So these pipes also, the ducts, pipes of these ducts also, they are made up of epithelium only, simple epithelium. Are you able to understand, ma? And tubes. Tubes means what? Arteries, veins, all there are tubes only. So all of them, they are made up of simple epithelium. So based on structural modification of cells, it means what is the shape of the cells, what is the arrangement of the cells. Again, this simple epithelium, we are dividing into three types. Squamous, second one is cuboidal, third one is called as columnar. Okay, ma? So this is the first one, which is called as squamous. Okay. Second one is called as cuboidal. So cells, they are arranged in the shape of cubes, no ma? So that is why it is called as cuboidal. And the third one is called as columnar. So they are arranged in columns, no? What is the arrangement? See, they are arranged in the form of columns. They are elongated cells which are arranged in the form of columns. That is why they are called as columnar. Clear, no? So then we will study about squamous epithelium. So what is squamous epithelium? It is one of the kind of simple epithelium. So you should not forget this sequence. Are you able to understand, ma? So see, first of all, we are studying about squamous epithelium. So thin layer of flattened cells with irregular boundaries. It means these cells, they do not have a particular shape. They are shapeless. So that is why they are called as, they are having irregular boundaries. Squamous epithelium is single layered and it is having irregular boundaries. Doesn't have a particular boundary. So walls of blood vessels and lung alveoli, they are made up of this squamous epithelium. So where you find this simple type of squamous epithelium, you will find in walls of blood vessels. Blood vessels means what? Arteries as well as veins. And you will find in lung alveoli also. What is meant by lung alveoli? Alveolus is the singular form, nama. Sima, total lungs. It is made up of small air sacs, no? Small air sacs. And through these air sacs only, the diffusion of gases will take place. Are you able to understand, ma? Into these air sacs, when the blood enters, then what happen? The exchange of carbon dioxide and exchange of oxygen will take place in the case of lung alveoli. Are you able to understand, ma? So this alveolus of this lungs also, it is made up of squamous epithelium. In the figure you can see here. Clear, no, ma? See here, you are seeing this inner layer, no, ma? This inner layer you are able to see, no? So this total inner layer, it is made up of what? It is made up of squamous epithelium. Are you able to understand? And this total figure, this is an alveoli. Are you able to understand? Or singular form, you can call it as alveolus. So through this inner layers of this, what you call alveolus also, it is also made up of squamous epithelium. Single layer of simple tissues. Understood, no? That's it. So then we study about cuboidal epithelium. Cuboidal epithelium means what? All the cells, they are of which shape? Shape of the cells is in the form of cubes. That is why it is called as cuboidal epithelium. So composed of cube-like cells. So where it is found, ma? It is found in the ducts of glands and tubular parts of nephrons. So ducts of glands. We have glands which are having ducts, no? Pipes are there, no, ma? Through which secretions are released into the human body. So these ducts, they are completely made up of which kind of epithelium? Cuboidal epithelium. That is, shape of the cells will be in the form of cubes. So that is why cuboidal epithelium. And tubular parts of nephrons. Where you find nephrons? Nephrons you find in kidneys, no, ma? So in the nephrons, you will find some tubes, tubular regions. So wherever you find tubular regions, all these tubular regions also, they are made up of cuboidal epithelium. That means cells, they are in the shape of cubes. Clear, no, ma? So one is glands of ducts, another one is tubular parts of nephrons. So what is the function of this, what you call cuboidal epithelium? Secretion and absorption. They will secrete the body fluids also, and they will absorb the body fluids also. That is the function of cuboidal epithelium. Are you able to understand? What was the first one? First one was irregular epithelium, no? Are you able to understand, ma? And where it was present? It was present in veins and arteries, and it was present in alveolus. And what was the function of those cells? So function of those cells was diffusion of gases. Are you able to understand? Here this cuboidal epithelium, what it is doing? It is responsible for secretion as well as absorption. So these functions you should not forget. Okay. So epithelium of proximal convoluted tubule of nephron has microvilli. Microvilli means what, ma? Small hair-like structures are called as microvillis. Are you able to understand? So I will write here. So hair-like structures, what you call them? You can call them as microvillis. So where you find this microvillis, microvillis you will find in nephrons, and in nephrons where you will find in PCT. What is meant by PCT? PCT is called as proximal convoluted tubule. Okay, ma? In nephrons you will have Bowman's capsule. No? In nephrons you will find a region which is called as Bowman's capsule. So above this Bowman's capsule you can find this PCT. In the study of nephrons, you will study all of this. Are you able to understand, ma? So the inner regions of this PCT, it contains microvilli. And all these inner regions, they are made up of which kind of epithelium? Cuboidal epithelium. Is it clear, ma? That's it. So in the figure you can find here. Okay. So you are seeing this microvilli, no? Small hair-like structures you are seeing in the nephrons, no, ma? So that small hair-like structures, these structures. These small hair-like structures you can find in PCT. Clear? And they are made up of what kind of cells? Cuboidal cells. So the next type of simple epithelium cells are columnar. Okay. So let us see what is meant by columnar. So composed of tall and slender cells. So what is the structure of this columnar cells, ma? So they are tall cells and they are arranged in the form of columns. That is why they are called as tall and slender cells. So their nuclei are located at the base. So each cell will have a nucleus, no, ma? Each cell will be having nucleus. So where is the arrangement of this nucleus? This nucleus is arranged at the base of this cells. So this is one important point. Clear, no? So free surface may have microvilli. So it means that in cuboidal cells also you can find microvilli. In columnar cells also you can find microvilli. Here also you can find microvilli. So found in a lining of stomach and intestine. Stomach is a region where body fluids will flow, no, ma? In stomach also you will have body fluids, no? So many enzymes, many hormones, many digestive acidic juices, they will also be present. So these inner layers of stomach as well as intestine also, they are made up of simple epithelium. And what kind of simple epithelium? Columnar simple epithelium. Clear, no? And again, what is their function, ma? Function of this columnar also, it is also secretion as well as absorption. Clear? That's it. Okay. So next, modification of columnar or cuboidal cells. Okay. So the second one and third one of simple epithelium cells, they are what? One is cuboidal, second one is columnar. So these columnar and cuboidal cells, they will be modified into two types. Are you able to understand? One is ciliated epithelium and the second one is called as glandular epithelium. I think somewhere he mentioned here. So that slide is missing. Ma? Are you able to understand? So therefore here what we write, so columnar one minute. Okay, ma? So columnar and cuboidal epithelium are modified into two types. What is the first one? First one is called as ciliated epithelium and the second one is called as glandular epithelium. Are you able to understand, ma? So which of them they are modified? One is columnar and the second one is cuboidal. They are again, they can be modified into two types. One is ciliated epithelium, second one is glandular epithelium. What is meant by ciliated epithelium, ma? When microvilli is present, then it is called as ciliated. That's all. Cilia means what? Small hair-like structures is called as cilia. Are you able to understand, ma? So if microvilli, if they are present, then they are called as ciliated columnar or ciliated. Clear, ma? One is ciliated epithelium means microvilli should be present. G5. Okay, got it. Okay, ma? And the second one is called as what, ma? Second one is called as glandular epithelium. Glandular epithelium means what? Epithelium of which glands they are made up of. There are many glands in the human body, no, ma? So all these glands also they are made up of columnar and cuboidal epithelium. Now let us see. Okay, ma? So first one, ciliated epithelium. So where you find the ciliated epithelium, ma? In columnar as well as cuboidal. That you should not forget. So cells bear cilia on their free surface. Cilia means hair-like structures are called as cilia. So present in the inner surface of hollow organs like bronchioles and fallopian tubes. Okay. So fallopian tubes where you will find them in the female reproductive system. In the female reproductive system, these fallopian tubules are present. And in this fallopian tubules also you can find ciliated epithelium. Epithelium where small microvilli will be present and bronchioles also. Bronchioles where they are present, bronchioles are present inside the lungs. Are you able to understand, ma? So function. What is the function of this ciliated epithelium? To move particles or mucus in a specified direction over the epithelium. So to move the different particles and mucus. Mucus means a saliva kind of structure. To move them in one particular direction, these hair-like structures they are responsible. Are you able to understand? That's it. So the next kind of modified epithelium is called as glandular epithelium. What is meant by glandular epithelium? It is again divided into two types and is responsible for secretion. All the glands, what they do, they secrete only, no? They secrete different body fluids and they secrete hormones. Clear, no? So unicellular means what? Isolated glandular cells are present and example is what, ma? Goblet cells of the alimentary canal. So in the alimentary canal, okay, ma? In the alimentary canal we have a specialized cells which is called as goblet cells. And these goblet cells, they are made up of what? They are made up of glandular epithelium. And they are unicellular. Unicellular means what, ma? Just a single layer of cells will be present. Clear? Multicellular. Multicellular consists of cluster of cells. A group of cells is present. Example is what? Salivary glands. Clear, no? So goblet cells as well as salivary glands, they are made up of glandular epithelium in simple tissues. And glandular epithelium is a part of modified columnar or modified cuboidal cells. Clear, no, ma? So goblet cells, they are unicellular in elementary canal. Salivary glands, they are multicellular. Are able to understand, ma? So this is one important point. So then glandular epithelium, some more information he is giving. So based on the mode of pouring of their secretions, glands are of two types. So glands, they will secrete the secretions, no ma? How these secretions they are released into the body, based on that again glandular epithelium we can divide into two types. One is exocrine, second one is called as endocrine. What is meant by exocrine? Exocrine means the secretions which are released by these glands, they are released into the body through some pipes. Pipes are present here. And these pipes they are called as ducts. Ducts are present. Able to understand more? Such glands, what we call them as? We call them as exocrine glands. Example is what? Mucus, saliva. Saliva is released in our body, no mas. Salivary glands are present, no? And salivary glands, they release the saliva through some tubes, which are called as ducts. Clear, no? Ear wax. The wax which is produced in the ear, they are also having ducts. Oil produced. In the skin, you will find oil, no ma? Oil is also produced through ducts only. It is released through ducts. Milk is also produced through tubes, pipes, and digestive enzymes. Clear, no ma? Whereas endocrine glands, they are also called as ductless glands. They do not have any ducts. Are able to understand, ma? And all the hormones produced in the body, they are ductless. Are able to understand? For example, you have a very important gland in human body called pituitary gland. No, ma? Pituitary gland, is it an exocrine gland or an endocrine gland? It is an endocrine gland. It doesn't have any duct. Okay, ma? So based on how secretions are released into the body, we are dividing the glands into two types. One is exocrine and another one is called as endocrine. And all these layers of cells of these glands, they are made up of what kind of cells, what kind of tissues? Epithelial tissues. Okay, ma? And especially these glands, they are made up of what kind of epithelial tissues? Simple epithelial. And in simple epithelial, again, what is the type of tissues? Columnar and cuboidal. So all this sequence you should remember. Fine. Okay. Then we are studying about, now until now we have studied about a simple epithelium, nama. And in simple epithelium we have studied about squamous epithelium, cuboidal epithelium, columnar epithelium. Now we are studying about compound epithelium. Clear? So composed of multi-layered cells. Compound, that is the meaning of compound. No? Single layer is called as simple epithelium. Multiple layers, they are called as compound epithelium. Clear? So limited role in secretion and absorption. This is one important point. So all the single layered cells, they were responsible for exchange of gases, they were responsible for secretion, they were responsible for absorption. But multi-layered cells, they are not very much helpful in secretion as well as absorption. అందులో secretions absorptions పెద్దగా జరగవు. Clear, Nama? So let us see where they are present, where we find this compound epithelium. Dry surface of skin. Clear, Nama? Moist surface of buccal cavity. Buccal cavity means what? So when you open your mouth, at the top you will find one hard surface, Nama. So all that hard surfaces you can call them as buccal cavity. So total buccal cavity, is it a single layer or many layers? Many layers are present. So that is why they are called as compound epithelium. Skin is also made up of compound epithelium. Clear, Nama? Pharynx is also compound. Inner lining of ducts of salivary glands and pancreatic ducts. Are you able to understand, ma? So inner lining of ducts and salivary glands also, and pancreatic ducts also, you will find the compound epithelium. Inner layers we are discussing. Inner layers, they are made up of compound epithelium. Clear, Nama? So functions. What is the function? Protection against chemical and mechanical stresses. So this is the function of compound epithelium. Okay, ma? So they are not responsible for secretion or they are not responsible for absorption. Only to protect the body against mechanical and chemical stresses only this compound epithelium will be present. Ante body ki support ivvadaniki ante. They are not responsible for secretion. They are not responsible for absorption. Clear, Nama? That's it. Okay. So see here, So this is the surface of the skin, which is made up of many layers of cells. Clear? Next, cell junctions. What is meant by cell junction, Sima? Between two cells, definitely there should be some joining agent. No? There should be some agent which is keeping two cells at one place. Okay. If there is no, for example, how water is present at one region, water has cohesive forces, no, between one water molecule and another water molecule. Cohesive forces are there. That is why water is maintaining its particular size. Are you able to understand? It is maintaining its volume. Similarly, for body also to maintain its shape and size, between two cells there should be some joinings, and these joinings only we can call them as cell junctions. Clear? So these are the junctions that provide structural and functional links between adjoint cells. It means to maintain the structure, these cell junctions are responsible. To perform different functions also, these junctions they should be present. Clear, number? So cell junctions again we are dividing into how many types? One is a tight junctions, second one is adhering junctions, and the third one is called as gap junctions. So tight, adhering, and gap junctions. So here you can find in the figure, so this is how gap junction appears like, and this is how tight junction appears like, and this is how adhering or adherence junction appears like. Are you able to understand? Now let us see what is the function of each of them. So tight junctions. Why tight junctions are responsible? What is the function of tight junctions? Help stop substances from leaking across a tissue. Okay, so many body fluids and other materials they are present in cells, no? So these tight junctions they prevent the leakage of these materials from the cells and across the tissues. That is the function of tight junctions. Are you able to understand? So adhering junctions. What is the function of adhering junctions? They perform cementing to keep neighboring cells together. So one cell should be present beside another cell. So these cells they are cemented. Cemented means what? They are joined with each other so that cells are present side by side. That is structure, shape is maintained because of adhering junctions. Who maintains the shape of an organism or shape of human body? These junctions are responsible. Adhering junctions. Are you able to understand? మీ ముక్కులో అడ్హరింగ్ జంక్షన్స్ లేవు అనుకోండి, ముక్కు ఇలా ఏలబడతా ఉంటుంది అన్నమాట. So only because of adhering junctions only, body is able to maintain its shape. Clear? Next, gap junctions. What these gap junctions are doing, ma? These junctions they are responsible for communication between one cell and the other cell. Human body, it is a very complex structure, no, ma? Very complex. So definitely there must be communication between one cell and another cell. Then only human body can perform as a whole. Are you able to understand? For your hand to operate like this, there are many chemical reactions and electrical functions which are going on. Okay, so for your hand to operate, definitely there should be what you call communication between one cell and another cell. That communication is provided by which junction, ma? Gap junction. So facilitate the cells to communicate with each other by connecting the cytoplasm of adjoining cells for a rapid transfer of ions, small molecules, and big molecules. Are you able to understand? So for communication purpose, these gap junctions they are present. So Sima, in this figure you can see here, this is the gap junction. This is the gap junction. So what this gap junction is doing here? Gap junction, it is connecting the cytoplasm of two cells. You know what is meant by cytoplasm? The living matter which is present inside the cell is called as cytoplasm. That cytoplasm is connected by gap junctions. Clear? So this completes our first type of tissues which is called as epithelial tissues. Clear, Nama? And the second tissue, connective tissue, third tissue, muscular tissue, fourth tissue, neural tissue, we will study in the next class. Okay.